Hi, welcome. My name is Karen Lyons, and here we are again for another edition of Chair Yoga class. I'd like you to make sure that you're in comfortable clothing and that you have preferably a chair with or without, well, without arms is better. Today, if you notice, I'll have a mat on the floor. That's to give the chair a little bit of stability. You certainly don't want a chair with wheels or a chair that's on a slippery surface. So just make sure you have that. And I'm starting off today with my feet up onto a bolster for a little extra comfort. Also, depending upon the type of chair that you're on, you too may find that you need either a blanket or a bolster to bring your feet up onto. And we'll begin. All right. So today I'd like to practice a particular pranayama that is what we call ujjayi or ujjayi breath. It's also known as a ocean breath, and it is done primarily from the back of your throat. So I'm not quite sure if you're going to be able to hear me too well or not, but the kind of throat it sounds like, and I guess this isn't really yogi, but it sounds like Darth Vader in a sense. So the breath comes from the back of the throat. It's all in through the nose. However, the breath, you can kind of feel it from the back of the throat. And I like this breath specifically for movement. It really works really well with the movement of the body. And pretty bringing a rhythmic sense of movement and breath together. It's a very well combination. So again, it's called ujjayi or ujjayi breathing or ocean breath. So why do we call it ocean breath? Well, actually, if you take your hands and just close up your ears a little bit, right, and start to breathe in and out through the nose. That it almost sounds like the ocean. Sounds like waves coming in and waves going out. So this is the type of breath that we're going to be using throughout the practice today. However, you may forget to breathe that way. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Just every time you start to think about bringing the movement in, perhaps maybe you can bring this breath in. So we'll practice it. So it's an inhale through the nose and an out through the nose. Inhale and out. And again, it's like that ocean. Think of a wave coming in, right, to the shoreline, and then it recedes back out into the ocean. So again, inhaling and exhaling. And everyone's breath is going to be a little bit different in terms of, the way that you can bring in the breath and bring out the breath. I like to bring it in at a count of 4 and an exhale to a count of 4. However, if you need to shorten that, by 3 or 2, by all means do that, or even lengthen it. And it's sometimes good to have a little bit more of an exhalation at the end, a little bit longer. So maybe you do 4 and 5. All right. But let's try it to a count of 4 so that we're all kind of getting into the same rhythm. So here we go. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good, huh? And then just bring your breath into a normal state. Maybe just taking a moment now to just take a little inventory through the body, through the physical body, and see if there's any areas of the body that are speaking to you this morning. You know, perhaps maybe your ankles or knees or hips or shoulders are a little on the cranky side this morning. Just take note of it and just move through these movements that we're going to do today to your best ability. You know, don't overstate yourself, don't overdo it. You know, to always just, you know, maybe look at the video for a little bit first and then try it. But always remembering to honor yourself, honor your bodies where you're at, okay? We all have a different body, we're all, you know, and this is really geared towards everybody. So just keep that in mind, okay, as we move through. All right, so we're gonna start this morning, and I am just gonna start with my shoulders. We'll work through the shoulders a little bit. But I do think we'll probably do a little bit of standing today, maybe go through a couple of formal postures. So let's just start with bringing that breath back in, that Ujjayi breathing, and we're going to bring it with our hands. So we'll drop our arms down by our side, and I'm going to press my fingers down and roll my thumbs back a little bit, and this is going to give me the ability to open up through the collarbone. So I really want to sit up nice and tall. I got my sits bones planted firmly into my chair, and my arms are down along my side with my palms facing outward. And pinkies are kind of moving inward a little bit. So here we go with that Ujjayi breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Now you can just bring your hands up halfway with that breath if your breath is a little on the shorter side. So we'll try that. Inhale and exhale. And of course, if you have a longer breath in, bring the arms up further. And again, inhale, take it to your level. Exhale, beautiful. And then we'll roll our shoulders back, down and away. Nice exaggerated shoulder rolls just to warm up the body, warming up the upper body. And then taking it this way. Good. I'm going to take my left hand, I'll mirror image, so I'll take my left hand out. I'm going to reach it all the way out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sweep it across the body, right? And then I'm going to open it up. So again, this is this Ujjayi breathing, and you should feel this in the back of the shoulder blade. Try to keep the rest of the torso seated forward and let it come. So you're feeling it all in through the arm as you reach forward, or to the side rather, right? So again, Ujjayi breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Maybe this time the arm moves back a little bit further, okay? Inhale and exhale. Good, and then float that arm down, and we'll try that on the other side. So go ahead and reach that arm out. Inhale, bring it across. And exhale, sweep it open. Inhale And exhale. And then maybe we open it up again, this time a little bit further back, and exhale. Beautiful. And then bring that hand down. Great. Just shake it out a little bit. And now we'll work through that shoulder, a little bit of rotation. So again, being mindful of where your shoulders are this morning. We're going to reach that arm out again. Beautiful. And then this time we're going to sweep it across, but then we'll sweep it down. And when we sweep it up, we're going to sweep it up and around, right? And back home again. So we'll start out to the side. We'll sweep it over across. And now bringing it all the way down and around. And let's do that again. Out, across, and then maybe down and around. Beautiful. Other side. Reaching it out and across and down and around, huh? Out and across. How's that Ujjayi breathing going, right? Down and across. Beautiful. And then I'm going to take my feet off of the bolster and just kind of bring it along the side so I can get my feet firm on the floor. And I'm going to get some more movement going here now. So now I'm going to reach, and as I reach, I'm going to bring my torso with it. I'm going to reach as far as I can over to that left side. And then I'm going to swing the arms down and around, kind of furl myself up and around. And I'm still working through that shoulder. However, now we're really starting to get the rib cage involved as well. Reaching up and around. You can use that opposite hand, keep it on the hip maybe for a little extra support, or on the thigh, up and around 3 times a charm today, right? And bring that arm back. We'll try that down on the other side. So reach. And then sweep it down and furl that arm up and around. Maybe follow the fingertips. Reach and furl. Here we go. One more. Kind of reach it over. Here you go. Beautiful. And then down and around. Beautiful. And then inhale, arms come up, and exhale them down. Awesome. All right, I'm going to now take myself and work through the hip a little bit. So what we'll do today is we're going to just bring the leg up and, hold that knee up and just lift up. Feel that. You're going to feel it in your quad as soon as you start to lift it up, right? And then just kind of pulse the knee up and down a few times just to work through that quadricep, through that thigh muscle, up and down, right? You probably feel it in the hip as well. I certainly do, right? And then we're just gonna take it out and in a few times, working through the hip joint. And then a couple big circles, and these are the killers, right? Sitting up nice and tall as you do this, go one way and then the opposite way. Good, and then bring that down, maybe tap that foot out, and then take it to the other side. So hover that foot off the floor as best you can, and then you're just gonna kind of pulse it a few times. Just till you start to feel that quadricep fire up, and then once it fires up, maybe start to change the movement a little bit, right? So then we go out and in a few times, the same thing, opening up through the side of the hip, getting some little flexibility in the hip, a little bit helps us with our mobility, right? And then those circles, circling one way a few times, and then the other way a few times. These are the ones that kind of like, ooh. Here we go, good, and then tap that out, beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna do a little cat and cows, and this morning what I'd like to do is bring the arms into them, and then exhale, let's cross the arms over. So I'm gonna be putting the left over the right for now, right? lifting up, and we're just going to lift up and then tuck and roll back a little bit here, and then lift up and tuck and roll, lift up, tuck and roll. And we're going to work through the shoulders on this one as well, and the back, and then bring it down. Actually, let's bring a block up. So I've got my big chunky block here. If you don't have a block, maybe a rolled up blanket, or you know, a book, you know, anything that's, you know, hard. Because what you're going to do, we're going to put our elbows down onto the block. So let's just do this. We're going to take our hand and cross our hands over, okay? And give yourself a nice little hug, right? And we're going to lift up, and then we're going to bring our elbows down onto that block, all right? And just tuck here for a moment and breathe in through the back side of the body. And then we're going to lift up again. Here we go. Lift, 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 lift. And then come back down. Uncross. Reach the arms way out. Thumbs are wide, fingers are wide. And then recross the hands again. Elbows on top of one another. There you go. And then reach up. And come on down. Elbows come down. And then maybe one more time, reach up. And elbows come down. So if you don't necessarily have the block, you don't really need it, right? You can still, you know, do that access, okay? Now though, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach the arms out, okay? And I'm gonna clasp my hands up over my head and press through the palms, okay? Get that nice length in the arms. Now we'll bring the hands down to our head, right? Reaching up, nice elbow here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little crossing over. So this is where you might wanna bring in the blanket or the block. So I'm gonna take my left elbow down and cross it over towards the right, and then up, and then down, and up, and then down, and up, and down, and up. Do one more, and up. So we're working the side body, the abdominals, right? Reach up, sweep those arms out. Just find that Ujjayi breathing again. Inhaling and exhaling. Bring the hands up. Reclasp if you can, the opposite way if you remember. Reach those hands up. Little Ujjayi breathing here. Keep the chin up away from the chest. Lifting up as high as you can go. Sweeping those hands down behind your head again, right? And then we'll start the opposite. So here we go. Come down and up. Come down and up, down and up, down and up. Beautiful. Reach the arms out. Good. And shake it out. Now I'm going to put my block here. And remember how we did those hugs? So let's take that a little step further. So we're going to take the hug, so reach the arms out, and let's take the left arm over the right first, okay? And of course, you can stay in the hug here if you'd like, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to take what's called eagle arms, and that I'm going to start to bring my forearms together. So I take my right hand and I kind of hook it into the palm of my left. Now this is a really great stretch for the back side of the body. If you really press those palms of the hands together, you're really going to feel that nice stretch in the upper back and the traps. So you start to push that together, right? Push, push, push. And then lift those elbows up as high as you can, right? Maybe I should come to the side so you can see me a little bit. So I'm really reaching up here, right? And then I'm going to come down and start to fold forward and then maybe bring those fingertips towards that block and breathe here, okay? And then just keep breathing into that back side of the body. So let me bring this back here. And then we're going to inhale all the way up, pull that belly button in the back of the spine, reach those arms up and take a slight little back bend here. Oh, this feels so good. And then release the arms, okay? Shake it out. Now remember, you can just keep those elbows and lift up and bring them down, okay? You don't have to do the eagle arms, so just take it to a level that is suitable for you, okay? We're gonna reach the arms out, okay? And now we're gonna cross the opposite way, right? So holding on. And then I'm gonna bring my palm of the hand together into eagle arms. And I'm gonna reach up, little slight back bend here. And then coming all the way down. Trying to touch that block if you can. Drop the head down. Now what you want to do is make sure you come up, keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest. Press the feet in firmly. As you press the feet in firmly, you start to raise the body up, nice and slow, and then reach up. The whole time, you're really squeezing your forearms together and you're trying to do that ujjayi breathing. And then we unwind and shake it out, huh? That's a toughie. All right. So let's roll in the hip a little bit and then we'll do a chair posture, but we're going to take the chair posture right up to standing, okay? So first just take a few minutes just to unwind through the hip area, loosen that up a little bit. And I think what we'll do is we'll take it through a couple of traditional standing positions today and working through the legs a little bit. And then coming around the opposite side. And again, this is trying to incorporate that ujjayi breath throughout the whole time, if you can, okay? Just always remember to come back to your breath. Anytime the mind starts to go to the laundry list or the to-do list or the groceries or the bills, just bring it right back to your breath, okay? All right, so here we go, chair posture. So the arms are gonna come up, and then what we do is we lean forward a little bit. Now make sure that chair of yours is in a nice position and it's solid to the ground as we reach forward. Now here, you can have your hands down if you need to, right? Just make sure those shoulders stay away from the ears and you can reach this way, all right? Otherwise, take those hands up. The thumbs are usually up towards the ceiling and the gaze goes up to where the wall and the ceiling meet. So you want to pull in everything you've got into the belly button, breathing here. This is a toughie too, so really let your feet firmly on that floor, pull that gut in if you can, and then sweep the arms down and come back to upright, okay? And then now we're going to hover, okay, or stay seated. It's up to you. I'm going to bring those arms up. As I do, I'm going to just hover my butt off the chair a little bit, so to speak, but I'm still sitting down in the chair. I'm raising my arms up. I've got most of the weight on my shins, on the back of my shins, not so much on my thighs, right? Breathing here. This is tough. Just keep going. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Soften those shoulders. Beautiful. And then bring the hands to the back so that you can guide your butt back down onto the chair, okay? All right, third time. This time we're going to take it right to a standing position. So make sure your feet are very grounded and solid to the floor. Here we go. Inhaling that ujjayi breathing. Exhale here. Hinge forward, but still on the chair. Now lift. And then with the inhale, lift all the way up. and exhale all the way down. Beautiful job. All right, I'm going to come to the side of the chair now, and we're going to use the chair for a couple of standing positions, standing postures. Now, if needed, I'm going to use the chair seat here. However, you can always bring a block up onto the chair. You can even use the back side of the chair, depending upon where you're at. This first position we're going to do is called Utthita Trikonasana. Utthita meaning just stretch, and Trikonasana is triangle or triangle pose. So we'll do that. It's very traditional. It's really good for the limbs of the legs. It builds and strengthens the legs, strengthens the bones in the legs. It's good for hip alignment, so therefore it's good for balancing. If you're having any balance issues, it's a great way of helping with that. So I'm going to start in what we call our mountain pose, and I'm going to bring my big feet. I'm going to bring my toes together, my big toes together. And the heels are opened up a little bit. And of course, if you feel unsteady, you want to open your, have a little bit of a wider stance. But try to get the feet as close to one another as you can. Maybe bounce a little bit so that you can feel the grounding in, right? Maybe raise your toes up a little bit and then bring them down, right? So that you can feel all four corners of your foot. What I mean by that is you feel the toes, you feel the heels, and then you feel both the inner and outer arches, okay? And then we can raise our shoulders up around and just allow those fingertips to be heavy and broadening through the collarbone. And let's just take 2 rounds of that Ujjayi breathing. So here we go, inhaling and exhaling. And then inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Now I'm going to inhale with that breath. Inhale. And exhale, hands going to come down to my heart center. I'm going to step my closest foot to the chair underneath the chair, and then the other foot's going to come out at an angle. So I got one foot coming this way and one going that way, right? So the heel is in line with the instep of the foot. Now this is about the hips. So all I'm going to do is just start to lean forward and take that hip out a little bit. I can reach the arms out, further away, and you start to lean into it like a little teapot. But try not to lean over this way. You want to lift up and lean back. You might even use the side of the chair to use as you lean forward, right? And then I'm going to find that block at an angle that works for me or not. Maybe I just bring my hand right onto the chair and then swing this arm up. Try to stack my shoulders in line with one another. And as you can see, we're making a bunch of triangles. So this is why they call it triangle pose, right? Reaching up. Getting some length here in the body, right? Working on those knees. Try not to hyperextend the knee. I have a tendency to do that, right? My hamstrings are so overstretched that I get a little hyperextension in the kneecap. So I have to put a little secret bend sometimes in that knee so that I don't compromise the knee or the hamstrings, right? Reaching right on up, pushing my feet in opposite directions here. Good. And then I'm just going to swing my hand down. Now I'm going to bend that knee a little bit as I rise up and come back and pivot my feet, right? And then just step them together, all right? And then we'll do it on the other side. I'll just move myself over. I'll bring the chair over a little bit so that I can make some room here. Get this stuff out of the way. And again, just making sure that you find your stance first, right? Get nice and comfortable. Each side's a little different too. So I'm going to step now the closest foot to the chair underneath the chair, pointing in the opposite direction, and then a big step out with that other foot. Now I'm going to square my hip forward, all right? You can even leave your hands on your hip and just start to teapot down this way. So you just kind of lifting up, getting that left hip up as you reach. And again, try not to lean forward. You want to lean back, almost like you're up against a wall. Reach the arms out if you want. You don't have to. Find either your block or the chair pad as you start to come up. And again, you can use the back side of the chair as well. You're going to reach up, right? Making sure your feet are firm. What you want to do is think about drawing the energy up from the feet. So think about really plugging both toes into the mat, into the rug or the floor, right? As you reach up, and then broaden through your collarbone. Take a slight little back bend here and really open up. Watch that secret bend in that knee, right? Don't hyperextend it. Really lift up. Now, of course, if your hamstrings are really tight and you have to bend your knee a little bit, it's okay, right? They'll eventually open up. But a lot of times you start out, the hamstrings are really too tight and you can't quite get that opening in the back of the knee. And that's okay. Just do you, and it's all good, right? Reaching up. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back up nice and slow and gentle, right? Maybe heel toe that foot in a little bit and step together, all right? Tap it out a little bit. Good. So now what I'm going to try and do, we're going to try and take that into a little bit of a lunge and a reverse triangle pose. So I'm going to actually look towards the chair now. Maybe I'll take the chair and I'll take it this way so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And I'm going to step, let's see, I'll step my foot forward first and then this one back. And I'm going to keep my legs as straight as possible. And I'm going to come down and start to hinge forward towards the chair. This time I'm going to put both hands on the chair. So starting off, this looks like what we call Parsvottanasana, right? Which is another pyramid pose, oftentimes it's called. And I'm lifting up, and then what I'll do is I will take my hand on and I'm going to reach up this way, right? Here we go. And then I bring my hand down, and then I can step back. Take a little bit of a down dog, and then step forward. And then we can just turn the chair around, and maybe we'll do that on the other side, okay? So the other foot steps forward. This one steps back. My hands are on my hip. I'm lifting up, reaching back, and then I'm hinging at my hip, coming down, hands come onto the chair right here, and then I'm going to lift up this way. There we go. So it's a form of a triangle pose. Okay, and come down, and then stepping back and maybe taking that down dog. And stepping forward. All right. Now there is another one we can do, which is a reverse triangle, similar to the one we just did, only it's the opposite way. So let's see, if I'll leave this here, you might see my backside for a little bit. So I'm going to take a nice inhale up and exhale. All right, and I'll step, let's see, if I step this foot forward and this one back, I'm going to hinge forward at the hip, right? And this time, what I'll do is leave this hand here and I reverse it. So see how my hand is reversed and I'm lifting up. So this is a little bit more intense because I'm rolling over from the rib cage and taking that reverse. And then come down. All right, and then the other side would be, let's see if I get this right. So it'd be this leg forward, this one forward. We take the hinge, and then this hand comes here, and then we reach up, taking the twist. And that hand comes down. Here we go. Stepping back and rolling up. Okay? So those are a couple of different ways that you can do triangle pose. We'll come back in the chair now. And, you know, again, those are really good for strengthening the legs. As you saw, we got a little bit of twisting going on too in the rib cage, but they're really good for getting the energy in the legs going and helping with balance and strength. So, sitting back in the chair now, we're just going to now take a nice little Ujjayi breath again. So inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to take my leg, take that left knee in, give it a good squeeze in, maybe roll at the ankle a little bit. And we'll finish off with some twisting. It's always good to feel, do a little twisting at the end. I'll take my leg across. I'm going to lift up nice and tall. And you can take, the thing I like about twists is you can take them as gentle as you'd like, or you can really get really deep into it. So today I'm going to take my hand over to the opposite side of the chair. I'm going to lift up and twist into it, looking over that left and trying to keep my shoulders down, you know, like that shoulder wants to come up a lot. So you want to try and keep them down so that they're in the same line of energy. And then we'll come back and just hold on to your knee, lifting up, and then just hinge forward here. Nice, easy bend, working gently through the hip. And then coming back up, nice and slow, and then we'll take that to the other side. So taking in that right, giving a good squeeze, maybe roll that ankle. I think intuitively, anytime we do legs like this, we all want to just roll our ankles. So there we go. And then cross it up and over, sitting up nice and tall, feeling very proud, and then go ahead and reach and twist around, taking it as deep as you want. Feeling that nice twist. Try to get the length in the spine in order to get the twist in, using the chair. And then holding on to that, we'll lift up and then come down and come forward and just take a nice gentle twist here, or dip, I should say. Breathing in and out, letting your belly rest. And then slowly and gently coming up, we'll unwind that. We'll tap that out. Take another inhale up and exhale, the hands come down. Ujjayi breathing, right? And again, inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So just see if you can get, if you started off that Ujjayi breath and you only got halfway here with it, let's see if we can get a little higher, okay? So let's try. Inhale. Exhale. And then all the way. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. And just kind of shake your wrists a little bit. And let's just loosen up the neck a little bit by dropping one ear to one side. And we'll go ahead and drop the chin down towards the chest and go ahead and roll the neck over to the other side. Nice and gentle. And then just go back and forth a few times, rolling the other way. And come back and roll the other way. Beautiful. And then for Shavasana today, I'm going to bring the blocks in on either side and just show you this as an option. This is what this will do for us is we'll simulate child's pose, and child's pose very good for our nervous system. It's generally done, on the floor. However, we can modify it and simulate it using the blocks. And again, if this is too much for you, you can certainly just fold forward, all right? But basically, you're going to bring your knees up onto the blocks, right? Maybe bring them a little bit closer. There we go. And what this is doing is getting the knees up a little bit higher than the hip. And then I'm going to hold on and I'm going to draw my chest down to my thighs and then just drop my head down and allow my hands to drop down towards the block, right? Just let everything be like loose and just let everything float out of the shoulders. And then just take some of that Ujjayi breathing and breathe in the back. Like when you breathe in through your back body, it's very beneficial for you. But also here, it's working our digestion system, and we're working through the abdominals and the intestines, the larger intestine and smaller intestine, the colon. All of that's getting affected here by just allowing yourself to breathe that Ujjayi breath in and out. And of course, if this is way too much for you to do, you can certainly just bring yourself forward. You can bring your bolster or your blanket up onto your lap, like so, kind of like what we did earlier with the block on our lap with our elbows. You can come over this way, okay? So however you find your way into a stillness posture, a posture that brings you stillness is really what you want to do. You want to just have at least a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes is ideal of taking what we call Shavasana. And that's to allow the body, all the work that you've done, all the movement that you did, to incorporate that into the body so that you kind of almost create like a cellular memory. So that the body remembers. And of course, always taking time for yourself is very, very important. And today I'd like to leave you with something that I read this morning out of my little book here. This is the little book of letting go. Who doesn't want to let go, right? It just resonated with me this morning, so maybe it will resonate with you as well. So while you're in your Shavasana, your forward fold, take a minute here and I will read this short little thing to you. We never need fear our thoughts because we are the ones who think them. We are free to change our line of thought, our mental orientation, our reality preference, anytime we choose. It's as simple as gripping the wheel tightly and looking down at the road, or gripping it easily and looking out at the road. The road remains the same, but we can drive it hard or we can drive it light. So I'd like to thank you this morning and this afternoon, and just really drive light today. Bringing our hands together at our heart shelf and bowing in gratitude, I remind you all that that love and light that you continue to shine upon myself is the same love and light that I shine on you. We raise our thumbs to our third eye as we bow in gratitude and say Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Drive light.